It really is amazing just how fast the roots of our plants grow. And it's something you do need to keep an eye on, because I've got on my windowsill here my Monstera deliciosa. This was grown all the way from a wet stick, just a little stump, leafless stump that I propagated. I checked the roots of this guy a few weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, and it was more or less fine. And then look at the state of him today. Absolute monster. Loads and loads of root, a thick mat of roots coming out of the bottom of the pot. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, look at that. And it's got the world's longest, well, in my house anyway, arrowroot, which is very interesting, I find, and see how long I can grow this. Maybe I can swing from the trees like Tarzan does. This guy clearly needs to be repotted, so let's go and do it now. Now, you might be wondering how on earth you're supposed to deal with something like this when you've got a mat of roots coming out of the pot. You might be thinking that you need to be really delicate and kind of loosen these roots up so they can go back through the hole, but that is really not the case. All you need to do is get your snippers out and just cut the whole thing off like so. This really doesn't harm the plant in any way, shape or form. Plants can handle a bit of a root pruning. It's something I've covered lots of times on the channel in lots of videos. So I'm just going to go through and just cut the bottom of these roots off, like so. So this is a plant that's living in perlite, semi-hydroponically. Also just going to break that off so I can easily get it out of the pot, basically. This is why we do this, rather than faffing around. So look at that. Unbelievable growth. Where should I put that? I'll put that there. So this should now come out. You can feel it's very hard, the pot. There's lots of roots in here. So that's all the perlite coming out. It still doesn't want to come out. See if that'll do the job. Come on. If you are really struggling, then you can cut the pot out if you want to sacrifice a plastic pot, which I might have to do, to be honest. Oh, there it is. My word. So they are healthy, nice healthy roots, exactly the colour you want to see. No black or anything as far as I can see. So Monstera plants do like to be a little bit snug in the pot. This is obviously too snug, I think. So I am just going to try and loosen up these a little bit. I'm not going to go too excessive, but these big roots, I'm just going to break these apart just to stop them circling so much. Okay, so you can be quite rough with Monstera roots. They do tend to bounce back quite quickly. As long as you've got lots of root tissue left, you should be fine. So there's an area of root that's grown into the soil. It's a bit annoying for me, so I'm going to cut that off actually. Should I cut that off? Maybe not. Maybe that's anchoring the stem into the pot actually. I might just cut it back. There. Okay. So I'm keeping the long area root there. That's going to be outside of the pot, just because I want to see how long I can grow it. So I've got a nice big pot here, or bigger pot anyway. That's maybe 2 sizes bigger than the one it was living in. I'm just sizing it up. That looks like it's going to fit nicely. So I've got my box of perlite here. So plants do grow quite nicely in just perlite, hydroponically, as long as you give it hydroponic fertiliser, or give it the nutrients that it needs to grow big and strong. And they can even grow in just water. So I'm going to put a layer at the bottom, like so. Hopefully this perlite isn't going to go everywhere. I think it might. Just want to keep the plant, the crown of the plant, more or less where it was. And I'm just going to easily backfill with the perlite. So it's nice and easy to repot with something like perlite, leca or semi-hydro, the little stones that you get, it just falls neatly into place. So I'm just going around to do it evenly so the plant isn't leaning to one side. That's a common trap that you can fall into with repotting your plants. You tend to dump it all on one side because it's easier, and that makes the plant lean to one side and you have to do a lot of jiggery pokery to correct it. So I am making a bit of a mess all over the floor here. Just filling in the gaps. Don't need to be too worried about burying the stem because it is perlite. The stem look very airy with soil. Once you water it, kind of loses the air gaps, which can suffocate the crown of the plant when it's buried too deeply. So there you go. That is my plant now repotted. So it'll grow new roots into the perlite that I've given it. Hopefully should push out lots of new variegated leaves. I've got my newly repotted Monstera here that I just repotted into perlite, into a bigger pot. And something that it is missing is support for this stem. So Monsteras do grow best when they've got something to climb against. And the solution to that could be a moss pole, could be even bamboo sticks. I've used that before. Not the greatest thing in the world though. But a very attractive solution that I like are these trellises. So they've got rubber coated feet that you can stick into the soil, or the perlite in my case, of the plant, like so. Deep in, try not to destroy that arrowroot. So up against, behind the stem. And the great thing about these is that they are stackable, so you can buy these individually from their store and you can stack them up like so. So let's try and get this in. Like so. So it's got lots of room for this plant to grow up this trellis now. So all that needs to happen now is for the stem to be tied on. So for that I've got some Velcro plant tape. I've got this listed in my Amazon store. The trellis, you can get a 10% discount I believe off all their products. There's a link in the description to this video if you're interested in that. So you can take a piece like so and then just tie the stem to the trellis. Don't know why I'm saying trellis. Like so. And as it grows, you can continue to put some more tape around it to grow up the vine. So I think that kind of puts it in its place nicely, doesn't it? Gives it something to lean on. So I'm going to pop down my windowsill for it to grow.